It, it sounds like you've had a lot to deal with in the last 4 years. And
Yeah,
I know a couple of months ago a list came out of the amount of referrals each councillor has done.
yeah,
Obviously, Hugh David, council leaders, top of that list, but you are very close to that top, within the top five, I believe, of
yeah.
councils using referrals. Now, a lot of people won't know what referral system is, so if you could give us a little explanation of that.
Yeah. So if you have an issue or a concern or a query with anything relating to the services that BCBC provide, which can include the bins, street lighting, Cllr, schools, social services, libraries, things like that, if you have a
Yeah,
concern, as a counsellor, I get that emails to me or Facebook. I'm on Facebook, so people can contact me 24/7. I've got a belief that there is no turn off time for me. I'm happy to meet with residents weekends, evenings, early mornings. You know, I'm contactable. I'm here. So
yeah,
people can contact me any way they want. So I put a referral in. So I send an email to a member referral email address. That's then sent on to the directorate or directorates responsible, and they have 10 working days in which to come back to me with a response or to resolve it. So, for example, if it's street lighting, they will log those streets that need new bulbs or fixing. They will go out and fix them and then confirm to me that it's been completed. Roadworks or traffic, if I go to highways with regards to faulty traffic lights, I will normally phone those in first because it's easier and quicker to get an engineer out, particularly if
yeah,
lights aren't working. It's more of an urgent situation. So I won't put those through the member referral scheme. I will only, for example, put a member referral in on traffic lights because the traffic lights in Coity are intermittent and they're constantly breaking. So I phone, and every time I report it, I've then backed that up now with an email to say it's happened now. I phoned in 5 times in the last month. There's clearly a problem. So they come out and investigate that, and they've come back to me and told me, for example, there's a fault underground. So they have to now go underground
right,
with the cable in and resolve that. So they come back to me with a response. Now, what I've seen is because Park Derwin and Gerdd y Castell aren't adopted by BCBC yet, they wouldn't deal with the majority of concerns that are raised there. They
yeah,
will deal with the Cllr issues, they will deal with the school issues, and they will deal with social services issues, but they don't deal with street lighting, they don't deal with the landscaping, they don't deal with the state of the roads because they're unadopted. That's for the developers. So on top of my referrals, I then have to go to the developers with any concerns there. So it's like a so those won't be showing in my referral rates. But what you do find is, and I found over the years, as Park Derwin has grown and more houses have been built, the number of residents in my ward has grown substantially.
yeah,
So I think I have almost double the number of houses as Pendray, for example. And it's difficult sometimes when you look at the community council aspect, because Coity used to be the small area. There's only two Coity community councillors for the whole of Coity, and yet we've got the biggest ward by far. Pendray has four, Litchard has five. So it's a lot more work in that respect, even for me, because I will pick up those queries as well from people that, and I will then refer back quite often as well to the clerk of the community council if it's a community council issue. But it doesn't help either that some of the borders in Coity are a bit blurred. So I will quite often be contacted by people in Park Derwin who live in the Litchard catchment
yeah,
because they live in Park Derwin. You assume you're part of Coity. And again, Jocelyn Terrace, Jocelyn Road, they will also sometimes contact me and think, you know, they fall within the Coity ward. So I deal with those, but I do copy in the councillor for those areas then to let them know it's come in and I've sent it on as a referral should they want to take it on. But yeah, so generally you get a query with a referral, you go into the council, and then you get your response and you share it back with residents. Sometimes there's delays, particularly through the the COVID period, there would be delays on getting responses. Sometimes information cannot be obtained within 10 working days. And sometimes I just don't get a response and I have to chase. So you know,
Now,
but
when you become a councillor, this is the system they say you should use to
yes.
sort out this. Because when this came up on Facebook, there was congratulations, a lot of congratulations for people like yourself, Hugh David, Tim Thomas, who are very, at the top of this very list, Councillor John Spanswick, because they're using that system. Now, it is the system that we measure that you're doing the work, but there was a lot
Yeah.
of councillors coming back saying, oh, we just go direct to the source instead of doing referrals. How are we supposed to judge what they're doing if we can't see
Yeah.
the
Now
work
we've been
process?
told not to go directly to um, officers.
Like care and things like that.
We are to go to through member referrals. Now I will phone. I don't phone specific officers, but I give the example of traffic lights not working. That
Yeah.
is an emergency because an accident will happen if you've got cars coming in four
Yeah.
directions through no lights. So, but I will phone the general line and I will phone through that way and report it through highway. So I will go directly there, but not way specific. I will not single out a specific officer. It's whoever answers the phone
Yeah.
will pick that up. Now, if I want a specific officer to look at one of my referrals, I will put that in my referral. If I think it deems it necessary, for example, for the Director for Education to look at it, I will ask that he looks at it and copy him into my referral if need be, if it's a significant, urgent
Yeah.
response that's needed. But no, quite often I put it through the member referrals, it's logged there, and the team who deal with them all, they're fantastic. They are so overworked that they deal with all of these, and they have diary points then to chase them up.
Yeah.
So I know they shouldn't slip through the net because they will chase and they will come back to me and say, have you had a response on this? And if I say no, okay, we'll chase. And if I say yes, I'm satisfied, they will close it down. So it's a system that we can see and
But
everyone can see then, and you can see which directorates are the ones who are providing the information within the supposed deadline.
yeah, and you know, it also keeps a running log of points followed through to a completion rather than, oh, I've already spoken to somebody in such department, I haven't gone through the
Mm.
system. That person then hasn't maybe logged it on correctly. There's no
But to me,
accountable systems for people to see.
I've got a legal background, and for me, if it's not written down, it didn't happen. Quite
No,
often is the excuse people use when you're
yeah,
dealing with claims. If it's not written down somewhere, how do you know it happened? So the best and easiest way, and the fairest way for officers as well,
yeah,
is to put in a member referral and do it that way. I put in several member referrals every week. Sometimes I will put in 2 or 3.
yeah,
Other times I will put in 10, 15, 20. I mean, at the time of Cllr, when Cllr first rolled out the bins, obviously there were issues throughout the local authority. But instead of putting a single referral in for each issue, I put, for example, because I'm not here to win points with who's got the most
no,
referrals, I'm there to also to get the job done, but also make it easier for officers as well, because there were so many things that came through. I had a spreadsheet, so I created my own spreadsheet with the columns with the issues, with the postcode, the house number, and what needed
yeah,
doing. So I sent a spreadsheet with 96 different households with different issues on that spreadsheet because it was easier for officers. I could have put 96 different referrals in, but
yeah,
you imagine the time it would take for member referrals team to forward each of those on, set it up on the system, to then respond. It's just crazy. So I did. So sometimes I will put numerous referrals in one, group it in one, because I'm trying to make things a lot easier for
yeah.
officers to deal with because they don't want hundreds and hundreds of emails when they're similar issues.
And I think having that system going through member referrals and instead of going direct to the directorate or something, if you do member referrals, everything's in an orderly queue then. If you're going direct to the directorate, it
Yeah.
depending on who it is and what sort the council, whether they're high up in the thing. I'm not accusing any leader or mayor or deputy leader or anybody of doing this, or cabinet member, but if somebody like that went straight to a directorate, it could be construed as I've got to do this first before going
Yeah.
through the
Yeah.
natural order. But that
Which
can
is why
happen with
you'll
any
find,
councillor.
yes, just why you'll find a lot of their member referrals are high
Yeah,
because they put them in through a member referral.
which is the way it
Yeah.
should be done, and it's the way all councillors should really do it, because it creates
Yeah.
an accountable
Yeah.
chain to follow. Then,
Yeah.
um,
And you will have some in some areas who won't have as many referrals
no,
because there isn't so much to do. And like, for example, you'll see my actual referral rate had had Park Derwent been adopted would have probably been about 3-4 times the rate it is now.
yeah,
But people don't see the work I do with Persimmon. And before we first went into lockdown, I would meet with Persimmon every month, and I'd have my list of issues and we'd go through them, and then I'd send my emails. So I have my contacts with Persimmon and Taylor Wimpey. So I do have regular updates with them still, but it's all
yeah,
virtually. If there's an urgency, we will meet out on site if there is something that needs looking at urgently. But the rest of the
yes,
time, yes, it's I do email them as well. So that's where more of my work goes, is actually with the developers than with BCBC referrals.